Welcome, everybody, to Saves Together, the podcast about playing games together, whether that means co-op or passing the controller back and forth or just playing the same game at the same time. It doesn't matter how, it only matters that it's together because...
When you save together, you stay together.
I'm Craig.
I'm Grace.
And this is episode 77! Today's a weirder one because we're talking about games we've already talked about. We're talking about something we talked about on episode 63, as well as episode 25, as well as something we talked about on episode 2.
And you'll just have to figure out what those even are.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We'll tell you.
We'll tell you right now. What are we talking about?
Monster Hunter Rise of the DLC.
So,
Sunbreak.
We've been playing Sunbreak a lot. And then we were talking about it. It's like, we're going to say the same things we've now said twice. We did Monster Hunter World, episode 25, and we did Monster Hunter Rise, episode 63. And this is DLC for Rise.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World, I wouldn't even...
But it's going to be similar.
It's a very different game.
I guess what I mean is like the factors. Why run through the factors? We still love Monster Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't a drastic change in any way. So we're just going to talk about how we've, what we think about what we've been playing through it. But we didn't need to do a whole episode dedicated to like reassessing. Are we going to score? No, right? We're just not doing scores today.
No.
Yeah.
Sort of just check in on co-op gaming in this summer.
And the other game is Terraria, which, like I said, was episode 2. So that's kind of cool. I didn't realize it was that far away that we did Terraria.
Good old Terraria never fails, never misses.
We had planned maybe a year ago to do whenever the final big update thing hit.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah,
the Journey's End.
We had planned to do an episode about that experience, but we played on hard mode.
We never finished.
And we didn't finish because we
Not that
were
you
bad
really
at
need
games.
to, but no, I just think that the combat is not the best. It's not the point.
Yeah.
So we started playing with Miranda and Kevin, our friends who are into games like us, and we play a lot of like co-op games together, but this was their sort of like biggest foray into the game, especially Miranda, but it's been really fun. So we're going to talk about that and Monster Hunter.
But first, let's talk about our solo time. Grace, what have you been playing alone by yourself?
I've been playing AI nirvanA, which is Kotaro Uchikoshi's newest game in the multiverse of 999, VLR, all those escape room-esque games.
VLR?
Virtue's Last Reward.
Was that on Vita?
That was the second one. I think so. And then it was Zero Time Dilemma was the third. And then there was AI Somnium Files. And this is the sequel to that. However, the way it works is in the game at the very beginning. So they marketed this as it can be a standalone. Even though all the characters are the same, there are new characters. And it is a sequel properly, time-wise. But it's a new murder case, and so supposedly you can play this without playing the first. However, I would not. But I thought it was funny because at the beginning of the game, they asked the player, "Hey, you know anything about the killings of the first game?" Essentially, is what they asked, and I'm like, "Yeah, I played that game." And they're like, "Okay, who was the murderer?" and it made me like type something in. And I was like, I'd have to look it up to remember. I mean, that's not really fair. You're asking me to remember the person's name.
Wow, Grace, I thought you were a fan.
I'm a fake fan, and the game called me out and said, you actually don't know anything, and so we're just not going to talk about any of those events. But don't worry, it doesn't matter. And I was like, it matters to me, but I'm just going to let this happen.
What? So if it's not going to matter to the story, why did it ask you?
Exactly. It does matter. That's what because there are
it does.
certain things, it changes certain lines that reference the past.
So if you put the wrong name in there at the text entry screen, what would change?
That's what happened. I put the wrong name in,
and
they said you don't
know
any. You don't know it. You got one chance. It did not give me another chance. And I was just like, I don't know. I felt like I had to be honest. But overall I liked it. I think by the end I felt it had a lot of lost potential in some of the writing choices that they made. And I don't want to talk about why
lost potential?
Mm-hmm, okay. Like it had potential that it lost by the end.
Yeah.
And I don't want to really talk about why, because so much of this game is just twists and surprises, and I think that's all still fun. It's worth playing. I think the first one maybe was a little bit better, but I liked the new characters in this one, and it was still a rip-roaring good time as always. Nice. And there was also a little. Well, actually, I won't say. I don't really want to spoil much of this because it's still new. But then I also recently beat Fire Emblem Warriors. I think it's Three Hopes.
I think so, yeah.
And
Because the game is 3 houses, right?
Yeah. After I beat it, first of all, there's always 3 paths because there's 3 houses, and that I understood that. But the way it ended, I was just like, that was the ending? I understood nothing. And then I looked it up, and it turned out I got like the bad ending. And I had to make this like very serious decision in chapter 10 that I did not even think about, didn't realize I had to make. And I was, and at this point I was like, I'm done. Like, I had fun. It doesn't matter.
And this is like the Zelda one where it's a side story that's not, what's that called?
Not canon.
It's not, yeah, right? Like,
I think so. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
really
pretty
matter
sure.
either way to me. I'm not one of those people that cares that much, because these Fire Emblem especially, it's always like a new cast of characters in later games, so it doesn't matter. But either way, by the end, I very much was done with it. Like, I had my fun with it, but I didn't need to keep going.
yeah, I think it's good to point out that it's not canon for people who do care, because that Zelda one, kind of a letdown that it's not like, oh, this is just...
I
Okay.
don't agree, because
If you really
Zelda
like-
games
yeah.
are, I mean, and this is like the new...
They build it as Breath of the Wild 2.
No, they
or
didn't.
not Breath of the Wild 2, but they build it as,
But-
this is a part of that story.
I
but
just
it's
don't
not.
think in Zelda it's ever mattered. But if you're a true fan of the Legend of Zelda games,
I'm not.
you understand that it's never the same Link. That's not the case.
Okay, but this story literally couldn't happen because the ending doesn't...
But why does it matter? I don't know why it matters.
Because a lot of people like stories.
It's
and,
all
and
fake.
they like stories too.
You know what the truth is? It's actually all made up.
Sure, but I mean, so is any story that you like. I'm just saying I think it's interesting that both of them are warrior games and they don't matter. And it's like, well, then don't build it as that. Because remember
I don't think
about
they really build it as like a sequel, though. It was more just like, this is a story set in that universe. At least that's what I got out of it.
I remember thinking like, oh, wow, this is like a prequel to that. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then you go through it, you're like, we're going to win.
Well, to be fair, like you could say the first half was like basically a prequel, and then it's like then the last part's like, okay, well now I don't even know. I don't even also remember what happens in that game as far as story wise. Right. Didn't they go back in time or something?
Yeah, that little guy can time jump.
I did love that little guy.
That little guy's cool.
The little guardian. But anyway,
They never put Linkle in the game, so honestly,
oh my, don't even remind
F-.
me. Dude, Linkle, can I just say, like,
Linkle needs her own game.
they continue making new Warriors games. I continue playing them and enjoying them, but nothing will beat the first proper Legend of Zelda Warriors games. Like, that is so... I beat it. Legitimately, I beat it 3 different times. I bought the game.
And this is why I'm butthurt about the story thing, because they build it like this is a very important story-based thing.
But the story
But
isn't
I
even
don't
important
want
in
that.
Warriors games.
Hey,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
The gameplay wasn't as good as the first one. The
Exactly.
first one was really good because, I mean, for a lot of reasons.
You had a crazy cast of characters
It had so many
across all
characters.
generations of Zeldas.
I bought it on the Wii.
Yeah.
I played it solo. I played it co-op. Then I bought it on my 3DS, and I beat the entire thing again because the way that the gameplay was very addicting. It did a good job at making those like adventure maps, and I kind of keep wanting that every time I buy a new Warriors game. Like even with this Fire Emblem one, which this is the second Fire Emblem Warriors game, and I do think they made the combat is the best it's been for sure. But I don't think the way the gameplay loop isn't as good as it was before.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It is easy though, by the way. And when I put it on hard difficulty, thinking like, well, it's actually slightly too easy, which I never say. I got to the point where I was like, okay, it's slightly boring in how easy it was. So I put it on hard. And I'm not even joking. The only difference is, so the enemies were level 45 on the map and I'm level like 35, which is fine, or 40. I put it on hard and it went 84. And I was like, I was like, excuse me? Like, wait, that's not like hard. You're just doubling the whatever. Anyway, I'm over it. It's over.
Yeah.
We both played Stray and we both beat Stray. So if you...
Give me your best cat.
I don't really think we need to discuss spoilers because there's barely spoilers.
Give me your best cat noise.
It was very cute. I liked it. I think overall it's worth giving a shot. I mean, it's very short, which is
nice
good.
and short. It's a cute little art piece. You know, like I see it as like a cool little experience.
It is an art piece, yeah. And I think I was telling Craig, they really nail the way you control the cat, and the way the cat interacts with the world feels so perfect. And it just really makes me want more of exactly that cat gameplay, but in different like worlds. I think that would be fun.
It really, for almost every time I thought like I want to jump on that, I could. And that was great. And every time I thought, I want to walk underneath this person's legs. I want to walk but there's a bar and the stools are like up against the bar. It's like, I could fit there, and you can. And that was like what really sealed the deal for being a cat.
It felt really smooth. Like, I love that, like, when you're going underneath these low areas, it doesn't like make you kind of load into it like another game feels like it would. You just kind of duck and quickly go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
It did so good at feeling like a cat. And I was thinking the one thing they could do to increase that feeling, because they did it very well, so this isn't a complaint. But in Spider-Man, you have the trick button. And so it becomes fun to, like, while you're moving from point A.
What kind of trick would a cat have?
While you're moving from point A to point B, you have fun in the movement, right? You're not just, in a lot of games, you just run there and you're not, are you having fun? No, right? Like,
I guess the
movement
thing
is not
you would do
fun.
in like a game like Xenoblade or World of Warcraft, those are the two games.
Jump. Yeah. So this game,
jump.
because you can just jump up on stuff that's inconsequential, Stray, I really feel like that's what nails the cat feeling, because that's like, watch a cat move. They just are jumping onto things and looking down at things and running between things they don't need to, right?
I was thinking at some point, like, imagining myself as a real cat while I'm playing this.
Yeah,
like,
I
this
found
cat
myself
would be
doing
like
that.
a lunatic the way I.
No, but I didn't watch you play, but cats, like, it'll just be like, why did you jump up on that? Just to jump down on that, you know?
Yeah.
And I was doing that. I found myself just jumping up on a balcony just to jump back down once I got past it.
I loved jumping on top of stacks of things and jumping off, and then they'd fall.
Yeah.
Like all the books and the box. I loved that. That was, and then just like messing up people's drinks.
And so I'm not saying to add tricks, like the cat doesn't need to do flips, but maybe like a jump and swat at something, or like, you know, just extra things to even more cat movement that is like not necessary but really feels
He really wants
cat.
to role play like a cat.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
I mean, I live my life as a cat most days.
That's true. You're a very cat-like personality. I've always considered you the cat and me the dog. For
You're
sure.
more like a
me?
Yeah, you're more like a
Go ahead.
butterfly.
Go ahead.
Beautiful butterfly.
Okay. I don't like it. Butterflies.
You're like a cocoon.
like a metapod.
You're like, there's a chance that you could sprout into something cool, but
I don't know where this is going. It's not
well,
good.
I was gonna say trash panda to like make a funny like you're garbage, but
Like a red panda?
But I really like raccoons, so it was like
you're saying I'm like a raccoon.
I wanted to make a joke like, yo, you're a garbage animal, but then like raccoons are like my favorite animal, so that
right. You wouldn't want to say I'm your favorite animal.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
That would be too far. That'd be too much.
And then I was gonna say rat, but we had an experience today,
there was
so
a rat
I didn't want to
downstairs.
recall the rats, but now we're talking about it. Our laundromat has a rat.
It's very
problem.
terrifying.
I like it.
It hadn't before. This was the first time I'd ever seen it.
It always has. You just weren't aware.
Right. Well, that's what I mean.
If rats are doing the right, if rats are succeeding at ratting.
Okay, but
you don't see
listen,
them.
we need to play a game like Stray, but you're a rat in New York City. Where is that?
There's that
game?
mouse, spirit mouse tail. There's a couple mice games.
Yes, but we need
rat.
We
in
need
the
like
city.
a disgusting city. You're in the sewers. You're in the subway system. And you're a rat trying to survive. Like,
Could we make
where
it
is that?
be? Could we make it be like
I want it to be gross.
you have
too.
a kingdom too, like kind of like Redwall, but city.
Okay,
like,
but what do they call the king of the rats again? Rat King? Isn't that the thing where all the tails get?
Yeah, I mean that could be like a boss.
I'm
but
sick
that's probably in
thinking
Plague
about
Tale.
that, dude.
I guess I've never played Plague Tale.
Oh, Plague Tale!
Plague Tale
I need to
2.
play
I'm just gonna
Plague
play.
Tale.
I'm just gonna start with 2. It'll be fine.
You would. I'm gonna start with 1 because I'm a proper video game.
Let me know
player.
what happens.
Okay. No, I refuse. So besides Stray, what have you been playing other than that?
WWE 2K22. They took a year off and released this game. It is good.
Garbage. Oh, garbage.
As far as a WWE game goes, they made some cool improvements. The wrestling itself feels good now. That said, it's kind of still the same thing that it's always been.
Are you gonna play any more of it?
I was playing it last night. I like the
okay.
showcase mode. So they do this really cool thing. Showcase mode, they've had for a while, and you go through like important matches and events in a wrestler's history, right? And what it used to be was, I've only played a few. So 2013 was the last one I really played. That was a good one. And then ever since then, 2014 seemed fine, but ever since then, they've been bad. Like, then I played some 2015 that had this showcase mode, and I'm assuming the showcase mode continued through. anyways, in the middle of the match, you're doing a famous match, and then it's telling you like now you have to do this move because that's what they did, right? and then it would cut to cutscene of in-game footage of them doing the like, because the engine doesn't really allow you to do exactly what happened, right? So every couple of minutes it'll switch to this, and you'll watch them reenacting the match in the engine.
Does it also then show you the real match in like video?
So
FMV
the new
style?
one seamlessly, it'll be like Irish whip your opponent out of the ring. You'll do that, and then it will camera cut and blend as they fly out of the ring. It'll switch to video and it's like the body is in the right position. You know what I mean? Like it's very smooth
like the real
transition,
video?
and it's the real match.
Oh, that's funny.
And that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just Rey Mysterio's career, and I think if you got like the double $100 version, there's another one, but it's fine.
Why
I mean,
him? Out of all is he the best?
I mean, it's Rey Mysterio.
I don't know, and nothing about him.
He's worth having a showcase mode. They've already done like John Cena. It's usually like the cover athlete has their showcase.
That's right. That's the one I would think, John Cena.
Well, his was 2015.
Oh,
but I think if you got the NWO version that was like double the price, you could have. I think there's a showcase for them. Either way, I think this is a cool thing for wrestling fans. I don't think it's a great game. Don't buy it for $70, but it was like $30 when I bought it. So
get it on sale.
Fun for me. But other than that.
Oh, I also got Live a Live in the mail today, and that came out yesterday. So I'm starting that one up. Excited to see what that's all about. Seems great so far.
This is a remake?
Yeah.
Okay.
They added like voice acting, and I think they added some other like quality of life features and like the graphics, I'm pretty sure, are all redone. But it's like, 7 short stories. I think it's 7 of like different time periods, and they're all by different manga artists and writers, and I think that's really neat. But then there is a thing tying them all together, I guess, and then there's like a story you unlock after you beat them all. So.
Are they manga writers from the 90s, like when the game was out?
Yeah, when the game was out.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So they're all kind of different, and they have different quirks, and they're different lengths. Like I was looking into how long each of them are, and they're very different lengths, and the gameplay is like slightly different on each of them. Like one of them's more story heavy and lore, and then the other one's just like a boss rush, and then one of them is like your more classic RPG, and so it's cool.
I saw somewhere a tip that said like don't be afraid to take breaks on one and go do another one. Like don't necessarily.
Oh, really? Okay.
You don't necessarily have to play them one at a time.
Because that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, I mean,
but
you
it might be interesting.
Still could, but
yeah, maybe it's like if I'm feeling the burnout of a story, then I can switch. That's not a bad idea. And
I don't think I got to talk about Neon White because I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about it on the last episode, which was just me, and I don't think it was out when we talked about Elden Ring.
Yeah,
guys, Neon White is an incredible video game. I'm still waiting for you to start it so that I can crush your times once you set them for me.
Sure.
I think it's a great game, even if you're not going to compete on the ladder of times. I think it's very satisfying. It feels like you're a speedrunner.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a cool idea.
Even just it's good. You should start it.
Yeah, I'll try it eventually. I mean, there's just so many games.
Do you want to play it a little bit today? Because I kind of want to play it.
No, Xenoblade 3 is next week, and I'm very excited for that.
You could get through Neon White. You don't even have to beat the whole thing. I want you to try it.
I will try it.
It doesn't seem like it's almost like Mirror's Edge.
Don't you say.
What I mean is like, I don't see you...
have you seen me play recently Dead Cells? That's a very fast-paced game.
It's not about being fast-paced. It's about the... parkourness of just like
you think I don't like the parkour?
Satisfying figuring out your lane and doing it, right? Like this is my route and this is how I'm going to do it.
I mean, I don't think that doesn't... I mean, what?
It's not... Okay, sorry. There's no definition for what a Grace game is. There's some that seem like they would click with you and some that don't. Not click even, but just that you would be interested in.
I know what you're saying.
Anyways, play Neon White. You and you and you and you and you. I'm pointing to everyone that's listening.
Pointing to the ghosts in the room.
Yeah.
Or
there are ghosts in the game too, right? Like, so, I mean, they're all
related.
Dead.
It's a good joke.
Yeah, that was a good.
That was my good joke. Yes.
That concludes my good joke.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about Monster Hunter Sunbreak: Rise of the Sunbreak. The Monster Hunter Rise, the Sunbreak.
So did the sun break?
We don't know. We didn't finish yet.
Okay. Well, we're not done
might.
yet, but we're on master rank 3, I think.
Yeah, and I haven't looked up anything about like how many master ranks there are. I'm guessing 5.
I do love the new hub. It's
Yeah.
very cool and very like, it's very Western medieval fantasy. It's nice, and everything's also really close together, so it's like
Yes.
convenient.
And it's not in that little tight cave feeling. Like I like the
Yeah.
hub area of the
I
other
kind of
one,
had I had a similar issue.
but it's a
there.
little tight and feels like
I feel
cramped.
claustrophobic.
Yeah.
You know,
So this is nice, and it's like a port, kind of a mix between this and World.
the cats are creating Dongo on a train. That's
Yep.
very cute. They ride a little train. But essentially, it's kind of like starting the game over in a good way, where
Yes.
you get to make master rank armor and weapons, and so you can make armor for beasts that like you had killed previously in the first time you went around, but it's like leveled up again, which is fun because it's been a while.
And
It's
it helps
been
us
a while.
It helps us go back and wrap stuff up that are high rank. You know, like we'll be more
Yes.
powerful now, so when we go back to high rank, it won't be
We realized
as much of a
recently we were essentially on the penultimate mission to actually beating the game originally, or the post game. Really.
beating the post game, which is actually the end
which
of
is
the game.
the 2 Ibushi dragons at once.
Yeah.
So we never did that, and so then we just now got to it. It's like, oh, I guess
Yeah,
we
we
should
fight-
eventually do that.
We fought Teostra, and like
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad.
Teostra was cool.
It was cool. That was a good fight.
Yeah.
Eventually, it fought. It probably it's scripted to always do this, but it fought Magnamalo.
I don't necessarily think that.
It just I only think that because it's like the cover, like Magnamalo
That
like
was
the
sick,
main.
though.
That was awesome. to see
Anytime
them
there's a
rumble.
monster, whatever they call it,
showdown, turf war.
turf war,
Yeah.
it's amazing and so fun. I don't know. It's a good game. It's funny because the way I feel about this game is every time I stop playing for a while, it's very hard for me to get back into it because you really just have to like get your sea legs. You have to remember how to play the game all over
Yeah.
again, which can be for a frustrating experience, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
But
I kind of
you're right,
watched
though.
a video and like had to like relearn my combos, but once you get into it, it's like, oh yeah,
You're back
I
in the
got it.
flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really see. I keep wanting to try new weapons out. I know I already
I
kind
want
of
to try
play.
the bow.
Yeah, I already kind of play longsword sometimes.
Yeah.
So like I could switch to longsword, but like I have so much fun with insect glaive.
That's how
and
I feel. It's
and
like,
I don't want
oh,
to take the
should I?
time to like relearn and kind of start from scratch.
Right. I feel the same way.
But I'll be fine if I did. But I also really want to learn hunting horn, but that's gonna take me forever to learn. Like even more than relearning the sword, right? So I've just stuck to insect glaive.
That's kind of how I feel about what am I again?
Switch axe?
Switch axe.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's just fun. Once you get into knowing how to use it well, then
Exactly.
it's hard to break free from that.
It
that
remains Monster Hunter. There's nothing real crazy new here.
They added switching your
Switching your silkbind attacks.
silkbind attacks, which is useless as far as I'm understanding it.
So far, it seems
To me.
useless because I even looked into it, like in the game, not online, and I don't have barely any other things to switch to. So why would I switch? You know,
I'm
like,
imagining like there's some like intense Monster Hunter player listening
Yeah.
to this right now, just screaming.
like, no, you need it. I did see
You
a
know
speedrunner.
nothing.
A speedrunner was using the switch skills, the physical like hitting both buttons to switch it, was somehow using that to boost them forward. I do want to figure that out because you could use that to move faster.
Listen, if it ain't broke, that's how I feel about this
Yeah.
game. Because the game's already still hard. Like, it's not like I need to make it more complicated for myself.
Right.
But they added something else that was really helpful. I'm trying to remember.
Well, there's like the new silkbind bugs that help you get more parts or do more damage.
Yeah, I like that. The wyvern riding bugs.
The puppet spider, the
marionette spider.
That one lets you.
That one's kind of hard to even use.
I know, I
I
screwed
used
it
it
up.
once correctly, and then after that, I have not used it properly
I kept
since.
whiffing with it. But I think it's a cool.
Idea.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Because they added these bugs that are on the side of the walls that I guess you're supposed to like use the marionette spider to hit the monster into, and then it like explodes a blight all around. I don't know. There's so much in this game. That's the one thing I somewhat have an issue with is there's an overwhelming amount of like mechanisms.
And that overwhelmingness is what causes that like.
I have like FOMO a little
If
bit.
you haven't played, it's like, oh god.
Right,
I
but
can't
also
get back
it's like,
into it.
oh, what am I not doing that I should be doing?
Yeah.
And then I just feel overwhelmed by the idea of trying to figure that out, and I stop.
I
Like,
kind of
there's
want to
so many
make
menus.
I kind of want to make a trading card sized thing that's just like, don't forget, like, you know, you you make your dailies. Here's your dailies. Here's what you do every 10 missions. Always be working towards this. Make sure you have
so
pots
much.
melding, right?
Don't forget to set your decorations.
Yep.
Don't forget to change your Palico's armor and weapon. It's like, oh God.
Yeah.
What is this, a job? Anyway, it's a good
But
game.
I kind of like that. That's what I like about it.
I was saying that this game's kind of amazing because it is the most tight gameplay loop in the world, and yet it can still stay so interesting for so long. I don't understand how. I mean, part of it is just the combat itself is so intricate and well done.
And fun.
And the monsters are really obviously like very like detail oriented. I was saying like how much I loved breaking parts and how like you can see it change on them.
It does such
and breaking tails.
Especially when you're as the switch axe, you have that skill where you kind of latch on.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And so like, I don't know, it's just so awesome to see you just like, so you'll be like latched on and your blade is, I guess, spinning, kind of like chainsawing into it.
I have
and you're
a
riding the
chainsaw.
monster while it runs. And then I'm coming through and flipping by and it just like explosions everywhere if we're using blast.
Yeah.
And then like, we both finish our attacks and then it topples over because you did enough damage on its head and then its horn is broken. It's like
I think
really
Monster
awesome.
Hunter is like one of those games that is in like top 10 as far as there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's really nothing like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, we never really got into Dauntless, which was like the free-to-play
Oh,
Monster
whatever.
Hunter like, but
Meh.
they're just trying to make a Monster Hunter and maybe they succeeded. I'm not, saying it's bad. But
Maybe
I'll
they
just play Monster Hunter.
Well, do you have anything else to say about Monster Hunter before we go to Terraria? I mean, we've said it all because we could literally just praise it for an hour if we wanted to.
Yeah, this is why we didn't want to do a whole episode on it, despite it taking up tens of 20s of 30s hours of our time.
More of the same, worth the $40, because at first I did not want to spend $40 on this.
Yeah.
Worth it if you loved the first. I wish there was a little more new guys, but whatever.
There could,
I'm not really
again,
complaining.
I mean, I don't know the full list of
well,
what's
we've been
new.
playing for at least a couple hours.
So
more than a couple hours.
Like you said, we made it to Master Rank 3 and we fought
I think
like
a
one
crab, then another crab.
2 full new guys, but then like 4 color variants.
Yes.
And the color variants do change up the attacks and everything, so it is a different monster. But
I'm not like really complaining that much because I just enjoy beating the guys.
I just know that there's at least like 3 there's at least like 3 or 4 more that we haven't fought yet. So
we'll see.
But the pacing is a little like, we're fighting this again.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know, for me that's fine because that's the game.
I like that we fought a big gorilla man. That guy was cool.
Rillaboom? That's the Pokemon, but whatever that
Rillaboom,
thing's
it
called.
kind of was like that because his
name
arms
is,
exploded.
Its name is...
His name is Gargle Balls, right?
Yeah.
That's what I call him. See, you know what I was thinking?
We don't know any of the monsters' names.
No, because then we used to call that one like Vagina or something. I don't even remember.
Well, you got Bagel Goose.
Bagel Goose.
Who I think is now in this
Gargle
game.
Ball.
Gargle Balls and Bagel Goose.
That's what we should call the name of this episode. Is Gargle Balls and Bagel Goose. Because, the older I get, the less shits I give about what something is called. I'm just kidding. I respect names, but I
like the names.
Not
they
the
just
monsters.
Don't stick in my head.
They don't stick in my head.
Despite us fighting the same thing a million times.
Like the version of my father calling Facebook face page is me calling that thing Gargle Balls, basically, to the Zoomers.
Right.
Zoomers love Monster Hunter.
Just, don't...
Just don't say it outside.
Just don't do it outside, not because you're saying Gargle Balls, but because put some respect on the name.
Part of it is it's funny. That's why I do
exactly why I like doing it. It's very funny.
I think our parents were doing the same thing. I think my dad knew it was Facebook.
Yes, of course. But some people do it.
I do it for the reactions.
Some people do it because they're too cool to know kids stuff.
Okay, I would never do that.
And this is a problem I've always had with parents. That would be like, and I want to buy one of the girl dolls. It's like, it's a Barbie. You know the word Barbie.
SpongeBob.
Say Barbie. And then like Spongehead Cheese Bob. It's like, you know what SpongeBob is. You aren't being funny. You're just being disrespectful. You could say SpongeBob Cheese Bob. And in context, it might be funny, but for the most part, when I hear like, let's face it also, by the way, let's face it, it's usually dads.
Yes.
When I hear dads doing that, it's like, in context, you're being a
If you're gonna do it, it has to be funny. That's my rule. Gargle Balls is funny. Bagel Goose is funny. It's funny to me.
Funny
Gargle Balls is very funny, and if you don't think it's funny,
it's just kind of like we probably.
It's a little bit lewd.
It's And it's not even that lewd. I'm not offended by it, but I guess we're saying it out loud on our podcast. Like, well, now they know we call things.
I don't care what people know. People know they can know whatever they wish.
I want to tell one story because this is my therapy, right?
What?
A story about
This is your therapy?
about adults being rude to kids' things and making them not like it anymore because of it. In the same thing.
I can't believe you just admitted this is therapy. Go ahead.
I turned 7, and I opened up a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Power Rangers?
Power Rangers.
Like Power Rangers.
White Ranger. And on his belt, he had a little red button. And when you press that button, it would say, Tigerzord, power up! So I hit that button. And for the rest of the night, all the adults were just like, okay? And I know why they're doing that. Because it was this annoying toy.
I can understand because I can see myself doing that, but you shouldn't do it around a kid.
I think you should be careful doing that to your kids.
Yeah.
Because it made me like kind of embarrassed for this toy that I loved. I was so stoked to open that thing, and then it was like, oh, it's a bad thing because the parents are all making fun of it.
I think it's fine, like if you're around other adults, even then, like I don't know, like don't make fun of what other people are doing that they're into.
Yeah, if someone's listening to music, and I'm guilty.
Hey, by the way, you do this to me. But with music,
sure, so and I'm aware. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, sometimes it is just like a
music's the worst offender for me. I think so many people are just incredibly pretentious, and it's like, dude, who gives a shit what people are listening to?
But
I don't
you
care.
accidentally like mimic a sound that you hear. And you aren't trying to be rude, but it is kind of sometimes rude.
I would watch anime when I was a teen, and my brother and my dad would both like walk by me doing it, and then just like make noises from whatever they said in Japanese, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I realized also, me and my brother did this. I remember we were admonished. We were watching TV with my little sister, and she was very young at the time, and it was like some stupid TV show, right? Because that's what kids watch, stupid shows, because they don't know things. I mean, okay, that's I'm already shitting on it.
Kids are stupid.
What I'm saying is, it wasn't TV for us, and so we were sitting there and riffing essentially, while my sister's watching it. And my stepdad's like, hey, can you guys stop? Like, this is her show, and she's enjoying it. And I was like, oh, you know what? He's right.
He is right.
He's right. Because that's kind of shitty. Like, I mean, we were like teens at the time, but still, I never forgot that. And I think about that. And you gotta be nice. You gotta be nice.
Like,
let people just enjoy whatever they're enjoying in their private time. Like, it's not like they're out there bothering you. It's like, you know, sometimes when I was watching some certain shows and YouTube videos, you would shit on it. And it was just like, why? You know? Let me watch it.
And I recognize that. And I
this really is therapy.
You know? So anyways.
He's sorry, and I'm sorry to my little sister, and we're not going to do it again.
We are.
Enjoy whatever you like.
We are, because it just kind of happens. It's like a weird human thing.
But I think it's good to be self-aware that it happens, so that like every so often you can stop yourself from doing it.
Yep.
You know? All we can do is our best.
All we can do is our best.
So next time on Saves Again now. Terraria.
So now let's check in with Terraria. Should we have another jingle play?
No.
Terraria jingle, here we go.
We started a new world, and we did it on
We basically
normal.
fully started over.
Yeah, we did.
We
really
characters.
had to... Okay, so our friend found this checklist that someone made, like an interactive checklist where you can... It's like a progression checklist.
Yeah.
That's been so helpful, because I was like, dude, I don't know what we're doing. You really got to look it up on this game. But I found this. Actually, let me just find it again, because I can probably recommend it.
Shout it out. It's a good list. Terraria, it remains. Here's the thing about both these games. Like I gave the old episodes where we talked about them numbers.
I don't know how to shout this out, by the way, because there's no name, but we'll link it in the SoundCloud thing. So go look it up.
Or we'll tweet it also.
Because the link is nonsensical to
Is it a Google site? It looks like it might be.
It's a GitHub site.
It's a GitHub site.
Yeah.
Okay. Terrarian. Oh, welcome Terrarian. Well, anyways, it's cool. It has a little checklist, and as you check it off, it's useful, because this game, and we were talking about it a little bit offline, this game really does require a guide.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone could do this game without a Wikipedia open on their second screen. It would
actually might be a fascinating experience.
You wouldn't get anywhere. How could you possibly even know, oh, well, now I have to dig down to find the corruption hammer.
No, you're right.
To
Certain
smack
things
two
are very specific.
altars, you know.
They needed to, I don't know, maybe there's got to be a way. There literally has to be. Someone had to found this out, right?
Digging in the code and millions of players playing it and talking about it. And so I'm not making, this is fine with me. I have no qualms about how that works. It's just an interesting. It's just like an asterisk to the game. Like, don't forget you have to have a second screen.
It slows down the pacing a bit, but we are finding with 4 players, which is our first time playing with 4 people, the combat is much easier.
Yes.
Because there's more people pulling aggro and just more DPS, obviously. So I like that because the combat's like not the thing.
The combat is not the fun part. It's fun. It's fine.
It's fun to work towards it and
Yeah.
to kill things, but it's better when it's easier. So. Yeah, we're enjoying that. And how far are we now?
We're in hard mode.
Yeah.
We
need to do
fought a couple of the first bosses, but we're not far into hard mode.
No, we didn't even do any bosses in hard mode yet.
No, we did the twins. The 2 eyes.
Did we beat them?
I think so. Don't remember. We're playing tonight.
We did beat them.
But I think we beat them.
We need to do the other guy now. We need to do the
Skeletron Prime.
No. The mechanical worm.
Yeah. But the game is awesome still. It's very
Game's
fun.
still good. Hasn't really changed. There's gnomes. Okay, the one thing they added is gnomes.
When you say the one thing, okay, I was about to call you the 1,000th thing
I meant the one
added.
thing that I care the most about is the fact that we spawned in a world seed where right next to us was the living tree. And so we made our home in there, and we kept seeing gnomes that would just watch you, like, very ominously from beneath the tree. And then eventually they would come up and just stand there, and then they would attack you, and they were really easy to kill. But when you get them out in the sun, they turn into, like, gnome statues. And then, so now we have a ton of gnome statues around our base.
Do they turn back ever?
No.
I haven't really paid attention.
They don't
to
turn
them.
back. I really love that. I don't know. It's just a cute little, like, it feels like I'm adding my own lore to my world where then I have a grudge against the gnomes, but they're also our friends. And so our base is called Gnomehold.
Yeah.
We aren't doing the thing where we create the names of our bases in the sky anymore, which is a little disappointing. Although we could make those stone statues of letters. Maybe I should do that.
I mean, we could just also put signs in the sky.
That's a lot of work. We got a lot of things to do. We did do pylons.
Yeah, and what's kind of cool about, I mean, it happens with 2 people as well, but what we've been doing is we sort of have roles. I kind of feel like, and because it's fun for me, kind of feel like the engineer or something of like, I'm just going to go build the highway. We're going to need this.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to dig the elevator. You guys go do whatever. Get me crystals and health potions and stuff.
Yeah, me and Kevin have been pretty spelunky.
Yeah.
And then I would say Miranda has been kind of maintaining our bases.
Maintaining the base. She built all the rooms. So like all the villagers just had homes the second it was great.
She made a very beautiful rainbow roof somewhere in one of the bases. Love that.
And it's nice to even speed that up. We talked about it speeding up the combat, but it even speeds up that part where I enjoy the building, but after you've made your 1,000th castle, it's like, all right, I really don't want to build another castle in this area, so I'm just going to build a box.
The one thing you do have to contend with is having less resources to create the things that you need.
Especially me making the highway to hell, the flat platform down in hell. I needed so many stone, and I was like, wow, we're actually out of stone.
And then we had to make wings, so we had to say, okay, we need 60 souls of flight, so we need to work together so that everyone can have a pair of wings. But it's fun. I mean, I like it. It's like you're arming your army for battle. And so I go around and give people new pieces of armor when I see that they're a little behind. And I don't know, it's really enjoyable. I like it even better with 4 people.
I love it with 4 people.
Yeah.
What's the max actually?
I think
does
it's
anyone know?
8. I actually don't know. Might be more. Definitely.
I think this would be a blast with especially if we had a server that was just always on.
Mm-hmm. Can you do that? 8 players are the max.
I don't see why not. I don't know for sure, but I don't see why you couldn't. If you just could be like, hey, we're gonna play tonight. We'll let you know what we did in the morning.
The default limit. Can you surpass it? I don't know. Maybe 16. It's either 8 or 16. Very different numbers. Not that we have 15
would be
friends.
Ridiculous.
I think 16 would be too many.
But not if you had a large world, maybe.
I mean, at that point, okay, here's the thing. At that point, I wouldn't be able to care what was happening progression-wise, right?
I would just be building a base.
Even 4 people is probably my max as far as trying to wrangle. I mean, this is how I am socially in general anyway. 4 people is kind of my max. I want to lead and I want to be in charge. So
see, it isn't. It isn't like Minecraft where if you had a server with 32 people,
that's different.
You'd be on
Minecraft's
separate.
Different.
I'd be building a fort over here. You'd be digging over
there's
here.
There's way less things you have to meet.
I'm
whereas
sure we
Terraria,
talked about it.
So many things you have to do
in our episode.
What, Minecraft?
Yeah.
I mean, we barely had to
For
do
sure.
anything. It was just like, I wanted to find diamonds.
No,
I was like,
right. I mean, in the Terraria episode, and the Minecraft episode, I forgot we did one of those. I'm sure we
Yeah, that
compared
was
the
fun.
two, and I still prefer Terraria because
Mm-hmm.
it has so many weapons and loot and all this equipment and crazy stuff to find that if Minecraft had that, I would be more inclined to play more. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking the crazy, like whips and yo-yos and wings and
a lot of
rocket
people,
boots.
I feel like, find a lot of fun with the Minecraft mods. Like, there's so many like cool challenge mods you
Yeah.
can download. That the Pixelmon thing I remember we
Yep,
talked about
yep.
doing.
I still want to do
Looked
that
really
one.
fun. That'd be fun if we did like a Pixelmon server with Miranda and Kevin. And I don't know, try to do
Yeah.
something like that sometime because they like Minecraft a lot too.
So if y'all are listening,
Hit
it would
us
be cool
up.
to do a saves together
Server.
that's just up and running. I have that old computer. I might look into this because
Do you think the people would actually play? I
I don't know who knows, but it would be
Who
cool
knows?
to offer.
I'd be there.
I'd play it once in a while.
Are servers expensive to maintain for Minecraft though? When you have
We
your
used
own,
to have one, no, but
it would be cool to have a server that we like kept up with and like invited whoever wanted to play on it.
like
Could
anyone
play.
can come.
Yeah.
and obviously,
Like our
whatever.
friends, but then saves together listeners
which-
and no griefing.
Please don't blow
Here's
up.
the board of rules.
I never
Please
really
don't
played
grief.
Minecraft like that. Did you ever?
Yes, I did.
Yeah?
Okay, so in the first days of Minecraft, when I was on 4chan, I didn't buy games and I pirated games quite a bit. And I pirated Minecraft, which was very easy to pirate at that point.
Yeah.
And I would go on all these 4chan servers.
Hey, it was also $20, you cheapskate.
I understand. I was like 14, so please give me a break. I didn't have a job at this point. But anyway, I would play with just 4chaners and it was terrible, but it was also funny. I mean, you'd have to hide your shit constantly because everyone would just look for it. But
Man, that sounds awful.
it was bizarre. I still enjoyed it. I would get addicted to just like jumping in a server and seeing what everyone was building.
Yeah.
And like,
I had a blast on the GameSpot Extra Life.
I just want everyone to know I don't use 4chan anymore. It's
Yeah,
one of
that's
those
actually
things.
a good thing to call out. Yep, don't you worry.
It's one of those things you do as a teen and it's a mistake. Okay?
Every 3 years, I go on the Pokemon board. And I go, yep, they still want to have sex with a lot of Pokemon. And then I leave.
Oh my god. Maybe we should cut all this out. I'm ashamed of myself, honestly.
It's the internet. There's worse things.
That's true.
And
frankly,
also
at this point, I'm not sure
terrible
Twitter
things.
is much better.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it
It is
is because of the type of person.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, like 4chan is
I'm like
unbelievable.
embarrassed.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's like the only thing that remained, because I was on 4chan a lot, right? In
Yeah.
high school and college.
Well, it
The
was just
only
like
thing that remained is the horrible parts. As far as I don't go there now, right?
Yeah.
But anything that I see that comes from 4chan is mostly just the trash I hated then too.
it's
right?
it's crazy. It's just like, how can these people exist in this world?
Anyways.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just because you use 4chan doesn't make you a bad person. It just increases your odds that you probably
Increases your odds. That's right. I mean, like, I never posted on there. It was the kind of thing where when you're young and you're
Not even on
discovering the
Pokemon?
internet, it's like a curiosity. No, I
The
didn't post on
Pokemon board
Pokemon.
was actually, I made the joke, but
I
it
used
was
the video games board.
It was relatively calm and cool, I think, from what I remember.
I remember
would
a lot
do-
of role playing on there. People would role
Really?
play
Yeah.
Pokemon quite a bit.
I would have mystery eggs and be like, guys, I do not know what these eggs are because I just have bins full of eggs.
Yeah.
So if you want one, here's my code.
I thought
I'll give you an egg.
The Pokemon board was fun around the times when new Pokemon games would come out because people were constantly talking about leaks, and I liked all that stuff back
Black
then.
and White. I think that,
Yeah.
when was that? 2010?
Yeah, Black and White was like
All the
big deal.
Pokemon leaked, and I looked. So this is when
I
I
remember
learned.
that.
This is when I
too.
learned for myself. Oh, I don't like experiencing Pokemon this way.
Uh-huh.
I looked at all of them. So then, as I'm playing the game, I'm like, oh, that's Boldore.
See,
oh, that's
you need to
this.
be more like me and just have absolutely no short-term memory, and so like it's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, I like.
I'm just kidding. I have some
because I was
short-term
so
memory.
into it because I really was excited by.
I know
the
what you
leak.
mean.
But then I realized, wait, the only good thing about Pokemon for me is discovering
I'm
new
not
guys.
even excited for the new one anymore.
I'm so excited.
I
for
think
the new one.
I really have fallen off the Pokemon wagon for the first time. Except there's a Pokemon Squishmallow coming to PokemonCenter.com in fall,
Yeah.
and it's a Pikachu and a Gengar.
Get your clicking fingers ready. Get your F3s.
Because listen, it's just like I've
F5.
wanted a Squishmallow because of how they feel.
Yeah.
I don't care if this makes me cringy, but they're also ugly, and I couldn't like.
Right, and they're just cat. It's just like cat.
They're basic, right? But
Fox.
the Pikachu is very, very cute. I mean,
Yeah.
I know people also like the Gengar, but I'm extremely basic. I love Pikachu. Sorry, I don't know.
Should we just get both? How much is a Squishmallow?
They're actually pretty cheap. The originals, like that's why they became such a collector's item, because you can go get them for like $10.
It makes me so happy that the tradition of very popular stuffed
Like
animal,
Beanie
Babies, Webkins,
Dude, Webkins. Dude.
There was another one.
I don't know.
The pillows that fold.
Oh, Pillow
Pillow
Pets.
Pets,
Were
yeah.
those people collected those? I have one
They were
still.
like kind of a big deal. Maybe not in the same way, but
Oh, mine's still
it
here.
makes me very excited to know that people are still hype
Yeah,
about
I mean
stuffed
those things
animal
though. Have you seen
generic-
pictures of people's like collections? They're so large. Like
I don't
it's
think
hilarious.
they look. I don't. It's
They don't
my
look
same
good.
collection. My same thing with figure collecting. When they're too stuffed together, like on one shelf, especially wrestling figures that are generally just a shirtless guy. It's like it looks so. To me, it looks bad. Like 60 shirtless guy. Okay. Like you don't see the difference. You know, you don't like see the stuff.
It's kind of funny, honestly.
Um,
Okay, well,
I think that's all I have.
think that's all we have.
Terraria's good and Monster Hunter's good. It's
they're
shocking.
good games. Give them
Shocking.
a shot
We
if
like
you
those
haven't.
games.
They're two very, very different games.
Yeah. So let's head to the closing segment. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Bum, 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 bum. Grace, did you bring a treasure?
I did.
No, that wasn't
liked
it. We're
it.
not doing that.
Ba, 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 ba. Should we just put in that sound effect, or
No,
is
because
that really
Nintendo
tacky?
will. It's first of all, it's kind
Nintendo
of
will
tacky.
find us
Nintendo
and
will
take
find us.
their snipers across the street and shoot us in the head. They'll be like,
They'll
take
take their
shot.
Wii zappers and their NES zappers and their Wii. What was the crossbow?
They'll
Link's
put us in
crossbow
jail,
training?
bro.
No, but like we need some sort of treasure. And now the treasure trove, right? You know.
And now,
Anyways, this is where Grace tells us about a co-op game that we haven't played yet. But it looks interesting. So maybe you should check it out.
apparently this game's taking the world by storm, according to Craig.
Yeah.
And it's called Dinkum, which is a funny
Dinkum.
name. But it was released on July 14th. It's still in early access. I mean, it just released. So it's in early access, like every game in the world.
Dinkum.
On Steam. The characters immediately reminded me of the My Sims characters. They've got these like little square, blocky heads and short, stocky bodies, which made me kind of love it because I'm obsessed with My Sims characters. If you ever played those games, shouts out, you're a cool person.
Dinkum.
The game is sort of like Stardew / Animal Crossing in that you are farming, you're fishing, you're foraging, you're building, you're crafting, you're doing it all in an island that's sort of inspired by the Australian outback. So there's emus and alligators. Is it problematic, Craig?
Why
Do
would
we
it be?
know? Don't know. I don't know.
Is dinkum a cool Australian word that means like, oh yeah, he's a my dinkum, you know? That's my dinkum.
You
And
know
that's
what?
like a farming,
We
like
should
that's
cut that out.
nah, dude. Australians are cool as hell, man.
I didn't say anything bad about Australians.
You're telling me I shouldn't,
I hope an Australian made the game, that's all I was saying.
even if they didn't, whatever.
Okay, well,
They're cool,
you
man.
heard it here first.
They're chill.
So it looks like one of those games that is actually kind of similar to Animal Crossing or in Stardew in that there's not co-op progression. So it's co-op in the fact that you would visit each other's islands. You can help them with their farm and like hunt with them and run from crocodiles with them if you wish, but you're not progressing together, which would be my kind of like, I don't know if it's for me, but they could add that in the future because it's only early access. So
Wait,
you
what's
never
not for
know
you?
what could change. Not having cooperative progression. That's
Well,
what I enjoy.
I'll just play on your world. I don't need to have my own.
Right, so that if you're cool with that,
Yeah.
then it's great. But it
Can
looks
you
cool.
build anywhere? I was getting the impression, but I
Kind of
have
looks like
not.
that, but I'm not totally sure.
Because that's the part that's more than Stardew and Animal Crossing.
Well, Animal Crossing you can build anywhere. That's the whole thing now.
Fair enough.
You know,
But
Like,
not like in the same.
It really reminded me of that kind of terraforming,
Yeah.
putting down paths.
I guess I forget that that's a huge part of Animal Crossing because it's so annoying to do in Animal Crossing.
What terraforming?
Terraforming
People
and
love
putting stuff
that.
down. I love it as well.
So you
but what
call
I
it
mean
annoying.
is, it's annoying to
Badly.
do.
Like, you mean like the
it takes
way
forever
you
to do it, and putting a thing down and pushing it into position and flipping it and rotating, and it can't rotate.
Flip it, bonk it, beat it.
Side note: do you want to get a Bop It?
Yeah.
Go on Google. Go on Google and type buybopitonline.com.
No, you know, actually, it might be annoying to have.
I love Bop It.
Beat it, spin it, click it,
Dun, 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 dun.
pass it, and then like someone else. It's like you can co-op Bop It. Actually, I guess that's cooperative.
Yeah.
I mean,
we should have a Bop It episode.
It's like super short. It's like
Bop
5
It.
minutes.
All right, let's run through the factors of Bop It really quick. Okay.
Co-op Bop It.
Type of co-op. Pass the controller. Separate mode or full.
It's not co-op.
It's a separate.
Though.
You have to go to co-op mode. It is co-op. There's a co-op
There's
score.
a co-op Bop It. All right.
Control scheme. Bop It.
Control screen. Bop it, spin it, flick
Bop
it.
it, spin it, flick it. So then you have Bop It Extreme with the 5 of them that had flick it, spin it, twist it,
no
pull
communication. It's actually an interesting co-op game because I would say the least communication possible in Bop It.
It's
Maybe
just,
than
here,
any other co-op
take this
game.
fucking thing.
Any other co-op game we've ever played, Bop It has the least communication.
Because you have to be so concentrating.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even distract you with my words.
So there's
You have
nothing
to
but there's
concentrate.
nothing to say. Like
Yeah.
all you have to do is play the
Progression,
game.
things to unlock, high scores,
No.
shared looter XP.
We share this Bop It.
We share the Bop It. We own the Bop It. Friendly fire. I could hit you with that.
I could bop you with this
I'll
Bop
bob
It.
you. Interruptive actions. Many. You could trip. You could throw up.
So many. I could puke. You're right.
Is it a party game? Hell yeah. Pizza party game.
It's the party game.
Could you play it online? No.
We should add that to our list of our Saves Together tournament party. There should be Bop It.
So the Saves Together Grand Prix is coming up in October for my 33rd birthday.
Oh my god, you're old.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bad at video games.
We're going to host a tournament where
Draw
everyone,
a random game from a hat.
a random game and a random challenge. It's not just the
Pre-assigned.
game,
Wait,
so
what?
it's also the challenge.
Whoa. But you can't account for that.
I'm accounting for it. I'm saying like Smash Brothers, Fox only, no items, Final
But
Destination.
that'll be
That's
one
part of the
piece
game.
of paper in there, and then
I
there'll
know,
be
that's what I'm
Smash
saying, that's
Bros.
what I'm saying.
Mirror match.
I'm
and then
just
there'll
saying
be,
it's not just the game. It's the
Yeah.
challenge itself. It's
Yes.
like, okay, now you're going to play Mario Kart, but you have to play this place or
Yeah,
this
it'll be
cup.
Mario Kart.
We're curating the tournament challenges, and Bop It should be part of it, frankly.
I think you're right, and that's an excuse to buy Bop It.
And it'd be funny because like no one would expect it. Like no one's going to know what the games and
That's
challenges
the
are
part
ahead of time.
I'm looking forward to. Is I have a lot of weird games. So
Yes,
it'll be
yes.
like, time to play. I can't even think of one right now. But
So the winner gets a prize, which is,
Trophy.
God knows.
$100 to Amazon.
I feel like giving out $100 on your birthday is funny, but
It's my tournament.
fair
I'm
enough.
gonna win it.
Fair enough.
It's just incentive for me to win. However, if it's my own $100, that does kind of suck. But
That's funny though. I mean, then you don't have to give it
if
away.
I'm hosting the tournament, then I'm hosting the tournament.
You're not
you know
gonna
what I mean?
win anyway. I'm gonna win. Clearly, I'm gonna win, dude. Well, I'm
It's gonna
making
be like
sure
some
the
dark
guest
horse
list.
because like the random chance is gonna
dark
just
horse.
work out in favor of like somebody's
Should we
plus
have
one.
a betting pool as well?
We could.
Like people that aren't participating can
You
bet
can bet on who's gonna win.
on who's gonna. I'm gonna bet on myself.
Always bet on Grace.
Always bet on me.
I'm excited for that. That has
Should we
nothing to do. I
what's it
wanted to
called?
stream it, but I don't want to do the
No
logistics of
way.
like
That's gonna be a
10,
nightmare.
12, 13, 14 people
Yeah, no, don't do it.
on camera.
Okay, we
it's,
should
like,
do
not
a
worth it.
what's that game called where you throw the thing?
Frisbee.
No, the game in the video game where you throw a frisbee really hard.
Frisbee. The game. What are you talking about? Throw a frisbee really hard?
And it like bangs across on the field, and it's like do throw the frisbee.
Pinball?
No,
What?
I don't remember the name of the game, but it's like really cool.
Wait, it sounds cool. Peggle?
Giant Bomb played it a lot. You bought a shirt.
Windjammers.
Windjammers. Windjammers should be a game.
I mean, that's already on there.
Also, shit, I just had it and I lost it. Manjala on Clubhouse.
Moncala's on there. Pull up. We already have a list.
I need to be writing this down because it's funny.
That's already on there.
Wait, okay, but there's another one I just thought of.
I guarantee you they're already on
There
there.
should be one where you fish in
that's
Final
on there.
Fantasy 15.
No, Ace. No. Well, I mean, that's kind of funny. But we
That
have
would be
Ace Angler.
funny.
Like,
Yeah, that's true. You know, I platinum Final Fantasy 15. I don't know
that's
why.
insane.
That is
That
crazy.
means you fought
It's
the
the
big
craziest
turtle,
thing I
right?
ever did. I
That
don't
big
know.
turtle.
Maybe I actually didn't. Maybe I just told myself I platinumed it because I got all the fish,
Let's look.
but I didn't.
I'm going to find out while you tell me where we can tell them to find us on the internet.
But okay, 1 second. There was one other game I just thought of that I really think. Dive Kick.
Yeah, that's already on there. We have a list.
I
know that you're excited. However, it has nothing to do with the podcast. So anyone listening is like, I don't get to see that. And now they're sad because they're not invited.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
maybe someone
going.
listening is invited. Okay. We have a website. Okay, so check it out. It's at savestogether.club, and you'll find links to our social media, our episodes, and all of our factors and recommended games. And you can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at savestogether.
Your trophies are private, so good going. I can't see if you have a
Yeah, because
platinum.
I don't want people to know if I really actually have a platinum Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, I have a platinum in I have a platinum in Stray. I did the run through the thing easily, no problem.
He didn't. He couldn't do it.
Prove it, dude. Pull up my account, bro.
Is it also private?
I have no idea. I have a platinum
I
in
love
Lost Judgment.
the idea that I like purposely made it private. I don't think I did. I think that's the default
I
setting.
have a platinum in Bugsnax.
I actually did have a platinum in Bugsnax, like legitimately, and then the DLC came out, and I tried to play it, and my game save, don't know why, was on like way before the ending, even though I beat the game, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I don't even remember how to play. I just wanted to do the DLC. I was upset. Bugsnax devs, tell me why. Why did this happen to me? Why did I didn't deserve this. I platinumed the game. Why? Anyway. You know why? Because I went back to platinum. Like I was doing something in that chapter, but it's like, why can't I go forward? I beat the game.
I bet you can.
You said this, but I already looked into this and you can't. I had to play it through.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, definitely can't.
Anyway. That was Saves Together. This was an hour long, so good short ep.
We were like, yo, short episode. We're just going to quickly recap about these games we've been playing. But thanks, everybody, for listening.
Yep, thanks for listening.
And savestogether.club.
Bye.
We need a cool outro, though, also.
This is the cool
Let's
outro.
work on the outro. Like, we have like a saying that's like, stay frosty, but not bad, because that's like...
Stay frosty, but not too frosty.
Keep it wet. And it's like, stay hydrated, but also...
Gargle these balls.
Bagel my goose.
Bagel this goose.